Yo, on March 21st, I started a 10,000 US dollars portfolio challenge where I invested real money into different Cosmos projects. Obviously, this was all pre-Terra collapse, pre-3AC collapse, pre-Celsius collapse. So since then, the portfolio has been absolutely destroyed. However, fundamentally, I have not lost faith in any of these projects. And this video series is here to show you how to use the interchain, how to use IBC, how to trade, provide liquidity on osmosis, how to do all these kind of things that are Cosmos native. Not with the goal that any of you guys is copy trading me, but rather with the goal to show you with real money how this stuff works. The last update I made on this portfolio challenge was actually almost a month ago, which is quite a long time. So I will try moving forward to give you guys weekly updates. May I'll pick one day per week, and you can also let me know in the comments if you actually want it weekly, if you want it bi-weekly, if you want it once a month. Anyways, if you look at the big picture, at the performance of the portfolio, we can see that right now we only have $3,000 left. And in fact, I started with $10,000, but I added $2,000 more because I believe that I should treat this the way I am treating my own money, right? And this all is my personal money. So that's how I would go about it. If a coin is down massively, but fundamentals haven't changed, I just buy more. I just cost average in, right? Like there's no way that I just let it sit there and let it bleed and don't take advantage of cheaper, lower prices, right? And I'm actually going to do the exact same thing today. Now, let's look into some of the biggest losers and biggest winners in this portfolio. And we can already see the biggest winner is actually XPRT, right? Persistence. They're also, by the way, partners of Cryptocito here, and they're also sponsors of this channel. And Persistence is not too much down because I just bought them recently, right? I bought them in my last video a month ago, which is already when the Terra collapse was priced in and all these kind of things. However, if you compare it to the biggest losers here, down 81% on JUNO and down another 81% also on OSMO, the 39% here of Persistence are nothing, right? So these two are down a lot, right? Even Stargaze is down 74%. Atom held relatively stable. I mean, 69% is not stable at all, but if you compare it to minus 81, minus 82, it's more stable, right? And also let's look into, for example, JUNO. If I would not have cost averaged down, my JUNO position would be down even further, right? So this was the first purchase I made. This would not just only be down 81%, this would be down 90 something percent, right? So I'm kind of like cost averaging down already. However, fundamentally, nothing has changed with any of these coins, right? I'm still extremely bullish on all of them, to be honest. This portfolio is still quite small and I don't want to spread myself too thin. That's also a mistake I see with many people. They want to FOMO into everything because they love a lot of these teams, a lot of these problems that they are solving, a lot of the network activity, but then they spread themselves too thin and end up not having a major kind of like bag that they're like betting on the most. And I think if you invest in crypto, you should have 2-3 coins that you are mostly familiar with, because also the thing is, if you have 20 coins, there's no way you can stay up to date with 20 of them and have the same amount of knowledge about all of these coins, right? So I recommend rather have 2-3 coins that you say, those are the horses I'm betting on the most. Those are the ones that I want to spend most time researching, learning, joining Twitter spaces, asking questions. But anyways, fundamentally, nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is the price and the market value. It's down a lot compared to 3 months ago when I started this portfolio challenge. But now let's actually go by the dip and cost average down on 2 of these coins. And we are back here on osmosis.zone, the best DEX in the world. I sent another 1,000 USDC to this account. Quick information here also. If you want to send USDC to somebody and you have it on Osmosis, you can actually directly send this to another Osmo address, right? Because everything that is happening on Osmo, all the assets that you have here on Osmosis, they are actually on the Osmosis chain, which means that if you want to send it somewhere else, you can send it to an Osmo address, right? So you don't have to withdraw it and then send it natively on that native chain of the coin. You can send it directly on the Osmosis chain, and that is pretty cool. But anyways, let's go back here and buy the dip with 500 USDC into Osmo. We're getting almost 560 Osmo for it. Boom, transaction is broadcasted and it will be included in a block in a second. Boom, transaction successful, already done. And next coin we're gonna buy obviously is JUNO, because JUNO is just down significantly, so we have to cost average down. There's like, I have to do this, I can't not do this. Anyway, swap, boom, transaction is broadcasted, and we wait a couple of seconds, already successful, and we are done. We bought the dip. So what we're gonna do, we can only withdraw JUNO because JUNO needs to get on its own chain to be staked, right? And like I always say in my videos, my strategy is to stake most of my coins. I have a balance, a ratio of like 80-20, like 80% minimum that I'm staking, and only 20% I have in liquidity pools. I said this since over a year now, a year and a half. The added risk, the added friction to putting coins into liquidity pools, not just for impermanent loss, but also for potential bugs and exploits and attacks and all these kind of things, which we have seen with Osmo recently, is not worth it for me as an investor to say, okay, I'm just chasing higher yields, but I rather put it into staking, and these APRs are also extremely competitive. But now let's first get our JUNO. Through IBC, this deposit withdraw means we're actually conducting IBC transactions. So we're getting this off the Osmosis chain now and onto the JUNO chain. And let's also check on our liquidity positions. We still have $619 here in the Atom Osmo pool, which is superfluid staked. And we even get this bonus here of ASVT. So this is pretty cool for another 90 days, right? So we're earning 28% plus 8, which equals 36% on native APR for providing liquidity here. Plus we're earning ASVT. I don't even know exactly what that coin is, for another 90 days. So this was just a bonus reward that is now being added to this. And if you wonder why the rewards went down, the APRs and also the staking rewards, staking APR is currently at 36.65%. If you wonder why that went down, it's because of the third inning that happened on June 20th, right? So Osmosis underwent a third inning, which means the emission of new Osmo decreased by a third. And this is happening every single year, right? Which also means the inflation goes down, staking rewards go down, liquidity rewards go down, because all this money, all these percentages, 28% here, 8% superfluid staking rewards, all this comes through inflation eventually, right? You have to be aware of this. This is not going to stay forever. And every year it's going to go down at least by 1/3, right? So you have to be aware of this. These rewards come from the inflation. That's really, really important to understand. Now let's look into Kepler Wallet, which is where you can see your portfolio balance as well as your staking rewards, which I just claimed and restaked manually. There's also some apps out there that you can use. Personally, I'm just doing it manually. And now we can also see that our JUNO are here as a liquid balance as well as our Osmo. So what we're going to do is we're going to stake them, and also to contribute a little bit more to decentralization. And let's actually go ahead and delegate it to another node. Let's actually go ahead and delegate to Larry. Larry is contributing a lot to the Cosmos ecosystem, and he's also part of the Mars team, which is also coming to Osmosis. So let's delegate to him. Boom, now we got our Osmo delegated to 2 different nodes. And obviously I appreciate everybody that is delegated to Stakecito. And now let's go ahead and do the same thing with JUNO. Let's actually look for another node that is probably a bit further down here. And let's actually go and delegate to Nación Crypto. Those are some guys from the Latin American community. So these guys are really, really cool and also friends of mine. So now let's delegate to them, and then we have contributed more to decentralization. But now let's get back into our dashboard and talk about something that is extremely important, which is this proposal. You can, by the way, see this here on the side, all these proposals. This proposal, number 72 on the Cosmos Hub, is really, really important, I think. And currently, it just went live, but currently it's 62% voting no with veto, right? Only 7.3% have participated so far, so it's still very, very early. 35% are voting for yes. And if you want to learn about this proposal, you can just go here on the full proposal IPFS link. And I've also tweeted about this. This proposal is actually about bringing a consumer chain to the Cosmos hub and actually funding that consumer chain. And they're asking for 150,000 Atom, which is not nothing, but it's also for a very, very well-known and reputable team, right? Which is the P2P team. The same guys that have also developed Lido and liquid staking on Ethereum, and they're absolutely killing it. They have also been early investors and participants in the Cosmos hub, and they want to build now a liquid staking chain, consumer chain, that is going to be a DeFi hub, which is secured by the Cosmos hub, and will launch an environment of smart contracts DeFi applications. Now, I think there's two things that I really need to fully understand. One of them, to which degree do they want to be a competition to Quicksilver? Because we are love, and we all know Quicksilver is being one of the first consumer chains on the Cosmos hub. So the liquid staking stuff is kind of like already covered with that. And the second question is, to which degree do they want to focus on this chain, this DeFi hub, to be a smart contract platform, right? Because this chain supposedly also implements CosmWasm. So it's going to be, I think we need more content and more details around how valuable this is, how it differentiates to Quicksilver. They say that they also want to closely collaborate with Quicksilver to identify projects complementary to both liquid staking offerings. And yeah, I don't know to which degree that is. However, personally, I'm a big fan of funding projects through on-chain governance. I think this is extremely cool. And I think in general, I'm always very, very open to it. And I also think there doesn't need to be like every single detail explained and covered, because some of these things are extremely fluid. And as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a builder, some of these things can also not be predicted, right? But we've seen, for example, what Evmos did. Evmos asked for 100,000 atoms around a year and a half ago. And you see what came out of it, right? So it was also funded through the Atom community. And now we have another proposal here for 150,000 Atom to fund a consumer chain by one of the biggest players in crypto. So I'm personally, in general, always in favor for these things. And you can also see the multi-sig committee is by Yelena, Jack, Zaki, and David. I personally don't know David from Galileo Group, but these guys have also built an insane reputation in Cosmos. They're like, core Cosmos contributors for many years, especially Jack and Zaki also on a technical basis and code basis. I'm not going to vote right now in this video because I'm not too familiar with everything right now in detail to make an informed decision, I would say. But this is definitely something to look at. And well, now we can say, thankfully, the Cosmos Hub gives us 2 weeks of time, because the voting period is going to go on for 2 weeks in total, right? By the way, they have roughly broken it down here, and they said 1/3, which is 50,000 atoms, will go to the development of the DeFi hub, and 2/3, which is 100,000 Atom, will go towards CosmWasm and smart contract projects. That basically would mean, as of my understanding, that they also want to attract projects to build on top of their CosmWasm enabled chain, which probably one of the first killer applications for it is liquid staking, but maybe it's going to be way more than that, right? So these things are still a bit vague, I agree. But I think in general, we should be very open to that. Get them on some Twitter spaces, maybe get them on some YouTube channels, have content around it, and we can decide from there. But I think just in general to say, oh, I would vote no with veto because this and that is missing, I think that's the wrong approach. I think we should always be very open to that. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on the proposal number 72 on the Cosmos Hub. Now, to wrap this video up, I just updated my 10K portfolio challenge here, and you can see we're only down now 68%. So we actually are cost averaging down. And if you look, for example, at our OSMO and JUNO position, now we are down from 81% in minus to 69 and 65 respectively. This is called dollar cost average. This is called bringing down your entry price by buying the dip, this is actually not a dip, like by buying the blood, buying the crash, right? And the more you buy, the more you will bring down these numbers and to human numbers. And eventually, when it turns around and there was going to be a bull run, you will suddenly feel like, oh my God, how did I get all these coins, right? This is insane. So this is my strategy. And if you enjoyed it, and if you also have any recommendations, any thoughts, any feedback, Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Follow me on Twitter as well. Stay safe and be good.